right, let's get started. Hi, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to another wonderful digital tools. Today we have the wonderful Deanna Ook and Sarah Diaz, and then our wonderful administrator, Carla Curry, who will be here to present to you on digital tools and things that will be helpful to your classroom. Many of these wonderful tools that they will be sharing are things that you may be aware of, but they're also things that you will find some of the tricks and trades that they have used, which are really, really helpful in their classrooms. So Deanna and Sarah come to us with great teaching experience and just are going to present a practical approach to all of this. So we're just super grateful to both of you ladies for being here and giving up an hour of your time to share. We just are so thankful for that. I'd like to remind you of a couple things. This is going to be recorded, so whatever you say out loud will be forever put on our SELPA YouTube channel. So we have a new SBCSELPA channel, which houses all of our professional development thus far. And so please be mindful of that when you're sharing out today in this training. Secondly, if you would like to keep yourselves muted, that will help with the bandwidth. Unless our wonderful ladies here ask you to unmute yourself, please keep muted, and that would really help us out with the amount of folks that are coming today. We have a good number of people here today. Secondly, you are welcome to turn off your camera if you like, just so that you have the privacy of wherever you are. And we will use the chat today as well, and the breakout room. So for the chat, if you're unfamiliar with that, there are there's a little bubble with a little tail on it. And if you'd like to just click on that, you can see there's already a wonderful message there for our Miss Sarah. And you're welcome to use the chat for questions during this training as well. So again, we just are so grateful you're here today. On behalf of Santa Barbara County SELPA, we just thank Deanna and Sarah and Carla for this wonderful training today. And we just thank all of you for your amazing work thus far with distance learning. So I will let the ladies take it away.
So, hi everybody. My name is Deanna Ook, and I am joined with Sarah Diaz and Director Dr. Carla Curry. We're going to be presenting on digital tools for your guys' classroom, and we are all part of the Carpinteria Unified School District team. I'll be presenting first. A few of the things that I'll be going over today is first, boom cards, then Doc Hub, and then quizzes. Boom cards are self-rating exercises that I utilize in my classroom, and they provide great data for me so that I can keep track on where each of my students are. One of the ways that I use boom cards is it can be used synchronous and asynchronous, and I use this in my Zoom and then also in my Google Classroom as an assignment. And it can be used for one-on-one or whole group instruction. And I'm going to show you guys a little bit on how I utilize boom cards. And if you've never used boom cards before, the place that this will be located is at wow.boomcardlearning.com. And I'm going to show you guys my platform on boom cards. And so when you log into wow.boomlearning.com, you're going to create a teacher account. And once you create a teacher account, you're able to create your classroom. So this classroom I utilize as a tool in sync with my Google Classroom. So for example, when you sign in as a teacher, you're going to create a new classroom. And as you see here, I have my classroom, and this is what I'm going to utilize for assigning assignments. So when you do create an account, you will see a few options. We have a library, report, store, and studio option. The store option is where you're going to find a bunch of different boom decks. They call them decks, and some of them are free, others you do have to pay for, but there's a lot of free resources on here that are just great. Once you do find a deck that you like, then you're going to save it into your library. And this is kind of where everything is stored for your access. So when you have your library, you're able then to assign assignments to either your whole class or a particular student. So for example, if once I created my classroom, if I want to assign this deck for an assignment, I'm going to go to the Assign button under the Actions, and I am able to assign this to a particular classroom. So I assigned it to my whole entire class in this particular class. Now, if you want to do a bit of differentiation, then you'll go to the Classwork tab and do the same exact thing, but for particular students. So the way that this works is you're in your classroom and these are the students that you have. And you're going to then assign a particular deck to a student. And it's really easy. You just go ahead and you check which ones you want to assign to the student. And then you're able, it's already assigned for you. You can click out. So every student can be assigned a different deck. And what I really like about this is that it does give reports once the student does complete an assignment, and it provides great data to see kind of areas that they may need further support in. So the way I use this in my Google Classroom is I first have this link here, and every single class has a link that you create. So I go ahead and I copy and paste this link because you already assigned the students an activity to do, and I copy it and then I paste it into my Google Classroom. And we do this assignment every Wednesday as a homework assignment. And so you go ahead and you copy and paste it into your Google Classroom. So when students click on the link, they're automatically put into Boom cards. And you can go about two ways. You can either create a password for the students or sync it automatically with your Google Classroom. So once they use their Gmail and they click their name, it automatically signs them in, which is a really nice feature. So not only do I use that for assignments, but I also use that as a Zoom link. And there's a few ways that you can do this. So if I'm doing a Zoom activity, whether it be individual or small group, I go ahead and I click this little action tab, and I want to do an activity via Zoom. So I use this fast pin link. You can also use a hyperplay link, but if you're going to use a hyperplay link, I like it because it does track the data. The fast pin link will not track the data. So there's two different ways to do this. So the student does need an account for a hyperplay link. If not, you can use the fast pin. So if I use the fast pin, I then can copy and paste this in my chat section, which you guys should see pretty soon here. And then if you were to click on that link, I'm going to put another slide here. If you're going to click on that link, you're going to get something that looks like this here. And you're going to be brought to the specific deck, which is really nice because students can click on that link. They can do an individual practice session. They can get some practice. And this is going to be a good introductory lesson or at the end of your lesson as well. And students can go ahead and practice that and go through the decks. Another way that you can do this is that when you do that fast pin, you can go ahead and open a new tab like I just did and copy and paste it in the tab. And then you can share your mouse with the students and share mouse controls so that you can do it as a small group activity as well, so that you can assess their learning in real time, which is really nice. So that's a little bit on how I use Boom cards in my classroom, both in Google Classroom and in SEALS. So I'm gonna stop sharing for a little bit and see, is there any questions at the moment as far as Boom cards? I know that was really quick, but I just wanted to give you a quick overview on how I use Boom cards in the classroom. If you have any questions, you're welcome to put them in the chat. I'm gonna give everyone a little minute. How do you share mouse control? Very good. So there is a mouse control feature on Zoom. I have it on mine, but I do have a different account. And it's on the very bottom, and it should have remote control on the bottom of your toolbar via Zoom. And I share that with my students in a smaller group. Can you create student accounts for free? Yes, all of this to create an account is free. There are tons of free decks. I utilize a lot of the free decks, and there are some decks that actually don't cost a lot of money, which is really nice, but there's tons of free decks, and you can create your own deck as well. What is the data tracking option in the Boom cards for via Zoom sessions? So if you're doing a Zoom session, and let me go back to that Boom card here, the main dashboard, so that you guys can see. So if you're doing a Zoom session and you want to track the data, then you're going to do the hyperplay link, because that's going to make sure that that student's data is going to be tracked. And so you will see that under your report section. And I don't want to click it because I do have my student information in there. So you will go to the report section, and it'll pull up the students' reports as far as what percentage they did of that Boom card deck, what items they got right, and then what items they got incorrect. So awesome. Any other questions? Okay, I think I got that last one. Awesome. So I'm going to move on to my next thing that I use for my Google Classroom. And the next thing I really utilize is for, as far as assignments go for homework, because we love pre-made assignments. We like making it, you know, as far as a wide range of activities for the students. So I also utilize DocHub, and DocHub is best for asynchronous activities, so more of an independent practice. And what DocHub is allows you to create fillable PDFs. And these assignments are really great because you can upload an assignment that you've either found online or part of your curriculum and upload a PDF version of it. So if you're interested in this, this will be located in dochub.com, and it is part of your guys' G Suite. And so DocHub, I felt like I struck gold when I found DocHub, because then I was like so excited about it because it just makes it really nice and easy for the students to fill out forms. So I'm going to show you my DocHub. So when you sign up for DocHub, you're going to create an account. And when you create an account, your dashboard is going to look something similar to this. And the way you create an assignment for the student, remember these are our fillable assignments, you're going to create a new document. And this is what's really great about DocHub. I always keep it private so only my students can access it. And you're able to create either a document or a template. If you create a document version, that means everybody can work on the same document together. This is great for group assignments. I personally do a lot of templates. So if you want to do a template, that means each student gets their own copy of that assignment. Then you're going to click the template version. Once you have that, you're going to upload the document from your computer that you've already downloaded in a PDF format. So I'm going to give an example here. And your assignment will come up. The next step that you're going to do is edit the template. You don't want to fill out a copy unless you're the person that it's assigned to. So you're going to edit the template. And then what I usually do is I put the name of the assignment, and I usually put the date that I assigned it to, like the date that it's assigned in my Google Classroom. So for example, I think today is the 14th. So I usually put the title there. It just keeps it nice and organized when you look on your dashboard. So once you have the assignment, you have the ability to add pages, delete pages. You can type on the pages, but first I'm going to show you how you're going to add or delete a page. So the way that you delete a page is I don't want to give my students the answer. So I'm going to go ahead and click on this page, and I'm going to click the trash can, and that's going to delete that particular page. Now, if I want to leave any specific instructions on one of my worksheets, I am able to do that via the A, and that means that you're going to be typing. And you're able to type whatever you like on this and leave specific instructions. And you're also able to draw or highlight. When I utilize this for my touch math activities, I also do a few examples with specific touch points. So I use the stamp feature as well. So you're able to do that also. So those are some options that you have, and the students also have these options when they see it on their end, and I'll show you guys that in a little bit. So once you have your PDF, you uploaded it, you edited it the way that you wanted to, you're going to push the finish editing. And your template is all done. But now how am I going to share that? So I'm going to share that by pushing this little person with the plus sign, and that is going to get a shareable link tab, and you're going to click that, and now you're going to copy this. I copy this into my Google Classroom because I use this as a homework assignment. So when I go into Google Classroom, I go ahead and I copy and paste this. This is actually my Thursday assignment. And I copy and paste this into my Google Classroom via the link. So when students click on it, and it'll usually give the title up there, but this is an example. So when students click on this, they're going to be directed to a page that looks like this. So now on their end, they're able to push the fill a copy button, and it'll prompt them, are you sure you want to fill a copy? They're going to push fill a copy. And my students did this a few times and they got it really well right away. And I just do a few walkthroughs with them. And I agree, and let's do this. So now students can go ahead and fill in the document and put in their answers. So they're going to push the A to use the type function. And then they can go ahead and type their answer. So when they are all done filling out all their answers, the great thing is they can go ahead and finalize. And they're going to want to finalize again. And this assignment automatically gets pushed to myself in my email and then also on my dashboard. So you can see what templates were turned in, and it'll have the student's name on the side as well, because this is linked to a lot of the students' Gmail account. So this is really nice because you can keep track of all the assignments that you gave them, and all the data is saved within your dashboard. So you don't have to keep looking about where certain assignments are that were turned in. So that's a little bit on how I use DocHub. Is there any questions on DocHub? Go ahead and you're welcome to leave your questions in the chat. I'll give you guys a few minutes. I guess no questions are good, right? No, I'm kidding. Okay. All right, going once, going twice. Okay, cool. All right, the next thing I am going to go over is a really cool feature that I found called quizzes. And quizzes is used synchronous or asynchronous. So in real time, I really like this activity, and it can be found on quizzes.com. And when I found this, I was like, oh my gosh, this is awesome. Where was this, you know, this whole time? And quizzes.com, when you go to it, you're gonna once again create an account. But what is really cool about this is that you can either create a quiz or create a lesson. And I really like the lesson feature because you're able to not only put your slides of your intro, but also do a few quizzes in between. You're able to also embed videos. And so I'm going to show you just a little bit on how that looks like, because it does take some time to create. But once you get the hang of it. So you're going to do your lesson title. So if you have like a money math question, you're going to put it there. And you're going to be brought to a page that looks like this. And this is the first slide. But once you have your first slide and you have your title, you're going to add slides. And what's great about this is when you add the slides, it gives you so many great options to, one, make multiple choice questions, do checkbox options, do fill in the blank, a poll, or open-ended question. So it gives you all of these great features that you're able to do and edit. And this kind of all comes together for when you do your live session. And I'm going to show you that right now. So once you're here and you created your beautiful lesson, I'm going to go back to my dashboard so that you guys can see. Everything is always saved in your library, so you don't have to worry about losing it. So this is the assignment that I created, and students, it gives you kind of a walkthrough. This is your teacher dashboard. It gives you a walkthrough of the assignment. So if I want to do this live in my Zoom session, it's really great. This is what I do. I haven't assigned it as homework quite yet, but that's also an option. So I'm going to start a live session, and I'm going to do a present mode. And remember, my dashboard is going to look different than the students. And then I'm going to go ahead and copy that link and paste it in the chat box if you guys want to take a look at it. It is there. If you click that link and type in your name, I can do a few examples with you if we have any takers. I have Carla, good. Give you guys a few minutes. Lauren, awesome. Jennifer, thank you. Any other takers? Oh, good. We have a nice big group that's joining us. All right. Going once. Going twice. All right. I'm going to go ahead and start. Oh, Rebecca, good job. You made it on time. So this is how the money practice is going to look on your end. And what I really like about this is that everybody's paced at the same time if you choose that option. And so I can go ahead and go through my slides, and I kind of go through with the students each of these slides. And then I'm going to get to kind of like the multiple choice options pretty shortly. So you guys will see that on your screen in just a moment. So this is kind of like your lesson. This is your walkthrough. This is your checking for understanding. And now I have the quiz section. And on your guys' end, you're going to see some multiple choice options. So I see everybody that's hitting that slide is being highlighted. And now it says how many quarters make $1. And I see that on my side, all those people that are on my end, good, they answered the question. And now I'm able to go to the next question. And it's really nice because it shows you a leaderboard on the teacher's end. And it shows you how many students got the answer correct or incorrect. And let's do another few questions. Don't be nervous to get it wrong. Thank you, Lauren. I see your chat. So I'm going to go ahead and go to the next question. All right, how many dimes make $1? I feel like there's some competitiveness. There's a lot of people answering really quick. Okay, good. All right, let's do the next question. I'm just gonna do about 2 more questions and then I'll wrap it up. All right. How many nickels make $1? Waiting on one more, and then I'll end the question. Okay. And then if somebody is not answering the question, it does give you a prompt if you want to proceed and wait for this or wait for the student, which is really nice. So I'm gonna go ahead and exit out of that and stop sharing for a little bit. Are there any questions? You guys are welcome to come back to the Zoom platform. Are there any questions on quizzes? So that was just a quick little introduction for you guys.
Deanna, can you show us now what the teacher side looks like once
Yeah.
those, kind of what it...
Yeah, thank you. Good. And then so the teacher side, if you guys can see my screen, let me go back to my dashboard. So the teacher side is really nice because you have reports and it's able to tell you as far as which students got it correct or incorrect. And my students' information are in here, so I don't want to click quite yet. And then it also tells you what specific questions they got correct or incorrect. And then I utilize this for my next lesson or activity or for individual practice as well. So this is a little bit about how the report section looks like on my end. Okay.
Deanna, for ours, like if you hit Money Practice 1, would it just have us?
Yeah, it should.
I'm just curious to see.
Yeah.
Okay, so then you kind of see by students.
And then you can see which ones they got question 2 wrong, or question 3 everybody got right, and then it gives really nice accuracy and then an overall score. And then this is really cool because it's like you can email it to a parent, and you can print it, save it. So it has a really nice feature in terms of giving you score.
Deanna, is there a way to get their answer changed if they misclick it?
No, no, it's just one answer option a lot of the time, and they're not able to change it, I believe, once they click it.
And then could you use this with students with moderate to severe disabilities? How would you adjust that?
Yes, and it does have an option to put just pictures. And it does have option to do your voice as well. So you can do an audio function and record your voice with the pictures. And so when they do utilize that, they can be given the visual with the word. So a lot of the time when I search images, because it doesn't allow you to type on that particular image unless you already saved it like that, I try to look for images that already kind of have the word on there, especially if you're using kind of like a PEC system. Okay, and then Matching, definitely for matching activities. We use it for a wide range of activities. We even use it for our unique comprehension lessons. It's really great because you can throw some fun questions in there just to kind of see what they would spend their money on, for example, if they had a certain amount of money. So it's a lot of different kind of questions. You can even have your higher, thinking questions on there.
Deanna, does it allow you to do multiple choice question?
Yeah, yes. Okay. So if you guys, let me go back to the lesson area. And remember, you can create a quiz or a lesson. So when you guys create your slides, it does have options for multiple choice. Okay. Or they can go in and do a checkbox. So if you want to do, there's more than one answer, they can go ahead and click all the ones that are correct that go with that particular question. Or you can do a fill a blank, or you can do a poll question, which is nice, or an open-ended question. So when you do the multiple choice question, you're going to write your question here and then your options as your answer. And then click the green, the little check mark, and that's going to be the one that's going to be your answer. So like I mentioned, you're able to do text, or you can upload an image from either from your saved documents or from Google. And then it also has an option to add audio or a video. So yeah, any other questions? Okay. Okay. All right. If there's no other questions, I'm going to stop sharing. And hopefully that was helpful. I know that was a quick run through, but I wanted to make it short and sweet, so I gave you the main information. And if there's no other questions, I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to Sarah. Thank you, Kirsten. You're muted.
Okay, Sarah, you're muted.
Hey, Sarah?
Oh, there we go.
There we go. Good? Okay. So I'm going to be sharing on some digital tools that I use with preschool age students. My goal this year was to make it really child friendly and as well as parent friendly. So I'm going to be talking about how I use a Google site, how I use boom cards, the platform Seesaw, and how I use Osmo. So the first thing is my Google site. I'm gonna share that with you in a second, but this was made it so it was really accessible. I kind of use it as a hub for my parents. Everything they need to know is on this site. It links to my external sites that I want them to visit, and it links to Zoom. And we do a lot of sharing of information. So I'm gonna show you what it looks like. So this is what my Google site looks like. So I did a little Bitmoji classroom, but here are all the buttons that I've created that also link. Creating buttons is a little time consuming, but there's a lot of really helpful videos on YouTube on how to link things and create buttons. So the first one would be just my contact info so parents can get a hold of me. They also have a hard copy of this. Next, we do our weekly calendar or our lesson plans here. And it's just an easy way for parents to know what assignments I have on Zoom. What assignments I have on boom cards, what crafts I've sent home with their packets, as well as like office hours of when I'm available to kind of talk to them. They also know that they don't have to follow this exclusively to the day, but it gives them an idea of what needs to be completed within that day. So I update this every week. I also put our Google Meet. It's actually, we use Zoom now. And so when parents have that problem of like, I can't find the link, I can't get on, I just redirect them here and say, remember, the link for our Zoom is on our Google site. So it makes them go here and I don't have to keep resending things or having to troubleshoot while I'm doing Zoom. We also, I'll link to Seesaw in a second, but it also has our speech website where our speech therapist will add stuff for them to do, which is also really helpful and easy for them to access. We do a quick like meet the teachers, a little bit of a bio on all of our staff and my assistants. So they're familiar with everyone. We also have a preschool site that it links to just for general information about school closures and stuff like that. And then for myself, I have a Scholastic order link and an Amazon wish list. So again, this is kind of all the information they need all in one site. And it's been really helpful. I did walk my parents through it on a Zoom. Was able to kind of show them how it works so that they were really familiar with it. Any questions on that? Okay.
That's pretty impressive.
There's a lot of resources. I know it looks impressive, but there's a lot of resources online that can give you the templates. I pretty much made everything in PowerPoint and then saved it as a JPEG and kind of just dragged and dropped. So if you ever want any information on it, I can kind of maybe show you some of the YouTube videos that I watched and stuff, and it basically kind of gave me like a template. If you have older students, there's more stuff readily available for you that you can purchase through TPT that would more configure probably to that demographic. But with preschool, there wasn't a lot of things that were applicable to us, so I had to learn to create the different buttons and the different titles that I needed. But luckily, there's a lot of resources on how to do this. So, all right. If there's a chat. Oh, TPT, yes. Teachers pay teachers. Sorry. Okay. So one of the platforms that I use is Seesaw. It makes it, again, a really nice place to kind of have all my information. It's a great place for my parents and myself to share pictures and videos, and I also use boom cards through that. I'm going to go to the next slide about boom cards because I'll show you all in one little presentation. No, it doesn't want to bring it up. There we go. And so boom cards, Deanna talked about this, but I'll kind of share a little bit on how I use them. Really good for interactive learning. It allows me to have data collection. I use pre-made boom cards through TPT, Teachers Pay Teachers, and through Boom. And the children have really been liking them. So I'm going to go ahead. This is what my Seesaw looks like. It does have my students' work. We're going to quickly go through it. So one of the things that once you create your classroom, it looks like this. They are assigned like an animal. You can see right here, I was able to send home learning codes, which is a printout of their username and their password. They like the password because it's really easy. It's individualized. I sent it home in laminated form for their refrigerator and also sent a hard copy home. But the thing is, you can always generate new codes and up to 50 codes work. So let's say they lose it and you have to generate another code. Both of the codes that had been generated would be usable, like they don't expire. So that's really helpful, so I can pull those up at any time. This is what we call our class journal. And so again, a lot of these are pictures that my parents have sent to me and I've uploaded them. And then they also, like at the bottom, I also have a picture like a parent uploaded herself of her child doing some artwork. So this has been really nice. One, it kind of helps my parents to motivate to want to take pictures and send them to me. They like seeing it on here. And so I'll talk a little about some of the things that are in here, but it's been really fun, and it's a little journal for them to be able to kind of go through, and I get to see what they're doing. In Seesaw, we also link to activities. So these are my activities for last week. And so how I do it is this first one, I'm able to add activities. This is a book, so I was able to download a book for them to watch. And it links to that external site. I don't know. And they're able to watch a book and look at that. And parents have been really liking that. And if you're not familiar with books, they have a year free for teachers. So that's been really nice. One of the things too is you can link to boom cards. I'm going to show you how you add activities before I show you the boom cards. And you can assign activities, and you can assign them to your whole class. You can assign them to individual students, but you create new activities. And I do it pretty simple. Like I just write the name of the lesson, and I typically will just send the link in, whether it be the book or boom cards. I'll put the link in. One nice thing is you can add voice instructions and multimedia examples or instructions. So I don't do that. My stuff is pretty straightforward, but if you create an activity like, color this, or you want them to trace their name or do something different, you can add your own instructions and they'll hear your voice or a video. So a coworker of mine, she does that for her students. So parents are able to see the instructions and the videos on the activity or how to do it. Let me go back. Another nice thing that's been helpful for me is that you can actually see, I've assigned stuff to class, but you can also schedule assignments. So these are all set to open tomorrow. Sorry. They're all set to open tomorrow at 8 o'clock. So I don't have to worry about being on the computer all the time and making sure it gets uploaded. I've scheduled them last week to open up at that certain time. So at 8:08 a.m. They'll be available to my parents. And so they kind of know when they're going to be open. And that just kind of alleviates me from always having to make sure I've got everything uploaded. So I'm going to show you how I use Boom. So here is my Boom cards and my students. So all my students are signed, again, their username and password. The fun part of the passwords on Boom cards is that you can assign pictures, like they can do like cow, dog, cat, and that's kind of their sign-in, which they also like, and it's easy for my parents to remember. And how I use them is I download them from either Teachers Pay Teachers or from Boom. Now I do have an account with my district that allows me to purchase with points for the ones over Boom, and we also have a TPT school access, but they also sell them in bundles on Teachers Pay Teachers for not too much. This is kind of the one.
Which animal is white?
Oops.
Which animal is white?
And so
which animal is brown?
It goes through, and typically there's around 10 cards. And so they've been doing that with their parents' help. If you're on an iPad, you can actually just click the animal with your finger and it'll tell you that. So that's been really helpful. Again, like we said, is that you do have to do hyperlink play. And I just usually copy that link and put it into my Seesaw. But the hyperlink allows you to pull up reports. And so that has also been very helpful. If you do my site, what I've assigned, and you pull up any one of these, it'll tell you where their child was at. So I can kind of see their average, their time, the best and their last. You can also pull it up as a graph, and it kind of goes over their accuracy. But also, this really helps me is that I can look at their recent plays, and right here, I can kind of tell, like on this first one, she had 10 correct. She got them all right, and the time spent was 3:07, and she completed it. It'll tell you how many times were attempted, the overall time spent, and if a child it'll say in progress if a child has like logged out or a parent's logged out and not completed the deck. So it does give me a lot of really good information. Obviously, I don't use just this information solely. I use a lot of the documentation parents give me in videos to kind of help me know where a child's at. But it's really helpful. And again, Boom has a lot of stuff to be able to download, as well as Teachers Pay Teachers. If you buy it from Teachers Pay Teachers, which is really nice, it'll link you, it'll tell you the directions to get the Boom cards into Boom from where they're at. Usually it'll have a kind of a link. So it's pretty self-explanatory. And any questions on that? I know I went kind of quickly. We're running out of time.
I think they're asking, they would love to know about the links for your YouTube videos. So maybe we can put those together and send them out to the group afterwards.
Yeah, no, totally. I'd have to kind of go through my YouTube library and pick out the ones that I found like the most helpful, but I could definitely do that.
And then there was a question when you asked, you add the hyperlink to Seesaw, does the student need to sign into the Boom cards website in order to open the access to the cards?
They do. So basically when they're here, it comes to my teacher, but like if they click on that, it directs them there and then they'll log in. I haven't had any problems with my parents being able to access it and kind of maneuvering the passwords. They've been really great about that. I only had one issue where a parent couldn't get in, and then we kind of reset the password. I gave her a new password and she got in totally fine. So it is a little bit of a process because you log into Seesaw and then you log into Boom. But I was actually pleasantly surprised that I didn't have more issues with that. It worked pretty seamlessly and was pretty easy for them to, again, to access.
Sarah, circling back, your original, your schedule, your front page that you created with all of the information, can you share that website one more time for that?
This?
Yes.
You want my own website?
No, that just how you organize that. That was a Google Classroom.
This is a Google site.
Google site. Okay, great.
It is a Google site. Yeah.
Great.
Okay, I have one more thing to kind of talk about. And a few other helpful tips and tricks. Sorry, my computer is moving very slow. So the next I use is an Osmo. And an Osmo is a reflector, essentially. And I use it with book schedule, choice making. Students can easily see what's being reflected, and it really does help with my Zooms to help keep engagement. And I'll show you what it looks like when I'm done. I'm gonna do a new share for you guys. So can you guys see that schedule? Amy, can you see it? Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. So this is how the Osmo reflects. It's on an iPad, and I have just this schedule on the table. So this is how I kind of start Zooms to be able to keep them on task. It helps parents know what's going to happen as well as the child, and it kind of keeps us on task. I also use it for various different things. I'll just show you a few ways that I use it. I use it for like name recognition. When we sing, that children can recognize their names, and we do the letters. I also use it to help keep engagement for song choices. So this allows me to ask children which one they would like. It can be a little bit tricky at times because they'll point to it, and that's where I kind of have to ask a parent, like, help them say, I want. And they've actually been really, really good at it. So when it helps with their language, it helps the parents to prompt and keeps them engaged. And then this also allows me to do a lot more stuff we use in our classroom. So I'll use a lot of like my song pieces for them to continue to make choices. Like we're talking about farms right now. So before we sing, I'll have them make a choice on which animal they want to do for Old MacDonald. So that's been working really, really well, and they really enjoy it. I also, especially like for books, it makes it really helpful also because they're able to see the book a little bit better. I was really struggling last year of holding their attention because the book was so far away, them not able to see pictures. So this has been really, really helpful. They like it. With my young ones, they really like the peekaboo ones right now because they can kind of guess and they get excited about when we open it. And then I also kind of use, we're not using this yet. We're still kind of getting used to all of our Zoom schedules, but I'd like to have anything that we do online that they would normally do, of something with them. So I made this calendar map for them, which we can go over like the month, we can count the days, we can talk about the season, we can talk about the weather, how they feel, and kind of colors that they're wearing. So that has been really, really helpful.
Sarah, you have a few questions here. Is this considered similar to a document camera?
Yeah, really similar. What am I, sorry, you guys. It is, I'm gonna stop screen sharing right now so I can show you. It's this, it's like a document camera. This is $10 on Amazon. It's Osmo. It's really inexpensive. You do need a stand, but you don't need a stand that they sell. And I think currently the one that they're currently selling, the base, which I do have, I just bought it in a bundle, is out of stock. But any kind of like iPad stand, but it's super easy. All I do is plug it into my computer, and then when I share screen, it'll say like share via cable, and then it pops up my iPad screen, and it makes it really easy and really seamless. But for $10, super easy. Again, you just download like the Osmo Reflector app, and it's just constantly on. But this has been like a game changer as far as like keeping my little ones engaged and them able to see things a little bit more clearly.
A couple further questions. Can you sign in on a separate screen from the Osmo? For instance, this person's students are deaf and need to see me sign in, see the teacher sign in whatever I'm sharing.
I'm sure you can. I'm not that technical, but this is as technical as I get.
And you said again $10. It was $10.
$10, and you can get it on Amazon.
On Amazon.
You can also go to the Osmo site. Again, I can't take credit for any of this stuff because I just follow a bunch of teachers on Instagram, and they have these great ideas. But I've also done things where, like, if you want to know like how to do an Osmo with so and so, I just like type it into YouTube, and something comes up. And I wasn't tripped behind the computer. And so that is kind of where I get a lot of my information from. And it sounds a little cheesy, but like there's so many resources right now within YouTube and Instagram. And that's kind of what I spent my whole summer doing, is just following these people and watching their videos. So, and people use this in Google Meet. I figured out how to use it in Google Zoom. And so those kind of questions are out there, but I'm not the tech expert. For sure.
So someone else shared, I love these comments, thank you all. Someone else shared that they are having some issues with Seesaw with fine motor skills. Any thoughts on that?
Well, I don't use Seesaw in a way that I create activities in it. Is that what you mean, like fine motor activities?
Yes.
I'm assuming.
Fine motor skills.
I send home stuff for fine motor skills. So I kind of use it as more of a, like to boom cards or to books, something that they can kind of interact with. But I also send a bunch of stuff home that works on other areas of development, just to kind of keep it easy and simple and keep my students off of the screen as much as possible, especially for my little ones. So a lot of the fine motor stuff, they do crafts, and I send home like cutting and fine motor activities that all get sent home in a packet. But that's all I know.
Thank you so much, Sarah.
I think I kind of shared what was on my last screen, and maybe you got to see it, is that I do like my students to like post pictures and parents to send me stuff, and I've had such good engagement. I'm constantly surprised and amazed by the videos and pictures that my parents are sending. But I also have sent home a flat Sarah. I don't have it on me, but it's a little Bitmoji of myself, and the students and the parents love taking pictures with it. And so sometimes they're like in their pocket, sometimes they're showing me what they're coloring, and it's been really fun. And I think like part of it is getting the parent to buy into it and have fun with it also. I don't think I've had as much parent participation as I have kind of doing these little things with them. And the flat Sarah, I wasn't sure, but it really worked. And it's just literally me just like my arms up, and that they're encouraged to take it everywhere. They're going on walks or they do a project, and it's been working really well.
Well, thank you so much for your wonderful talent. We just so appreciate it. And Dr. Curry is here to do a little breakout with you. So would you like to share your screen, Dr. Curry?
Yeah, I wasn't sure what our time frame was.
I think we have about 5-10 more minutes, maybe.
So it might just be breakout room activity here. And we don't have to break out. I can just show the links. It's up to the group. It's about a 10-minute activity where we can go into a breakout room. North Carolina, that's where I'm originally from. Their Department of Ed has put together a great resource page for remote learning. So I want to take everyone to that. And if you scroll down, they have options for students with disabilities. But I also want to just highlight, they do have per grade level. So there's some really nice resources. If you just want to look at, just standard course of study, that's all in here too, divided up by grade level. But here you come to, let's see here, what was I? Okay, here's their page. There's a lot of really good information about progress monitoring, literacy, social emotional learning, APE. We'll go here to significant disabilities. If you click on that, they give you pre-made activities that are already made based on grade level. So those are up here, the content standards, and then the instructional resources are below. I can get down here. So for example, if you clicked on math, it just has different types of, whether it's a activity or whether, kind of click on one. So there's different activities within the links that you can do based on the concept. So I just thought it was a really nice, a nice website that already has, did I lose it? Oh, I lost it, hold on. And then, so that was for significant. Here's mathematics, just for students. Hold on, I can get down here. And so then there's mathematics. So these would be students that are in more of the mild moderate programs. So in relation to math, so all the different online resources with a description, and then there's the grade span as well. And then they also have it for literacy as well. So again, just a great resource to have when you have the time to go in and scroll in and, gather different resources that are already created for teachers. So, and I just wanted to share one more, just because I was looking at it this morning. I think it's pretty great. This one is one put on through Chime. Oh, wait, is that one? This is it. This is a Padlet. So this one's really nice, more focused on our students with more significant support needs. And so across the top, they have the different categories. There's training resources, literacy resources, communication supports, science, math, social, emotional, self-help, virtual trips, scavenger hunts. So just a lot of really nice ideas that have already been created that you could take and incorporate into your Google Classroom or whatever platform that you're using. So I will put the links to both these sites and share. Any questions?
So we just said the website for the first one, NCDPI.
Yes, let me stop sharing and then I will. Okay,
And
so here's the one for this, the Padlet, that's that one. And then the one, let me get, okay, and this is the one for the NCDPI. It's coming through. So those are two great, pretty extensive resources that when you have the time, again, the materials are already there. And so I just like how it's separated by grade level and by, you know, variety of disabilities. And again, stuff that's already created, you just get to take it and put it and make it your own. So
clearly, Carla, we could spend hours with this, and so many are saying thank you to all of you for this wonderful hour, Sarah and Deanna and Carla. We could talk for a long time, and I know all of you online today could as well. We had a breakout room plan, but we love to chat and love to share. So we're just, again, very grateful that everyone is here today, and I just want to show my intense gratitude to our wonderful presenters today. You ladies pulled it together quickly, especially with the start of the school year, and we're just so thankful for you and for all of you who are working so hard right now. We just want to make it easier on everyone because we know there's a lot to do and not a lot of time. So we're, again, just grateful for the work everyone does. Next week, we will have a new link, so please register again. Next week, we will be talking about attendance, tracking tools, and instructional assessments. And that is September 21st, same time, 2 o'clock to 3 o'clock. And so please register again for that training, new link for that training. And Dr. Sukari Epps will be back with Cynthia Diaz. No relation to Sarah, I don't think, right, Sarah? No relation, but both lovely ladies. And they will be speaking about attendance tracking and assessment tools. So again, we just want to wish you all a really wonderful week. And I hope this was a helpful event for you to maybe learn something and take with you and try it in your classrooms. All right. So have a great week, everyone. Thank you so much. Bye, you all.
Thank you.
Bye. Thank you, Deanna.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.